This contact stuff really was no good for wearing to try to create a simple, fast, easy to make stencil. The other stencil I made was made out of this, but this flexes, right? It changes dimensions depending on how you push it down on your head, etc. The hard one doesn't flatten, so I've got to push this one down too, but it is more rigid, so it is actually better than that rubbery one. The one we use tape and Saran wrap, cling wrap, glad wrap, that recoiled and changed size the moment I took it off, and it never fit again after I cut it out. Anyway, the contact that I just threw on the floor. I had this cool idea. I could put it against the wall and use it for education purposes. Like I'm educating you. I'm some guy's just trying to figure out what the hell's going on. This packet of Staedtler, how do you pronounce that? Staedtler. No. It comes with an interesting weenie thing, I guess. I don't know how to make that, but that's sort of designed to sit up at you, I think. Maybe that clicks together there. Yeah, it does. Okay, so that becomes like a stand. The Germans, gotta love them, ingenuity, right? So now, hopefully, these are whiteboard markers, so they should wipe off with just baby wipes. I was gonna get an eraser, but then I realized I've got baby wipes everywhere. So let's see. That is basically the tattoo on the back of my head. Not too messy. Comes off easily. Great. Great textures. And look, they even took into account the little hook handle. So you can hang it on things like a shirt if you're a nerd. And does it fit in the back? Yes, beautifully, beautifully. Attention to detail. God, I'd love to buy everything from Germany. They are the best. Great weight to these things and good feel in the hand as well. Very, very well thought through. I want these guys to run the world. Staedtler. So, I just drew on my wall, but it's all contact, so I can just peel all this off at the end if I don't like it. But it's good. Now I can draw stuff. I really don't want to have to shave out a shave zone. I don't really want to have to make a stencil and cut that out, you know. It's hard. And stencils, once you've got one, it's fine, but I'm going to make one. Not only do I have to make one, I have to figure out what size hairpiece I want to wear. Now I had this genius idea that I'm going to just go back to wearing this one again, the one I took off. But this is what happens to tape after you remove it from your head. It's gross. And look, it's just, look at that. It's no cleaner at the end than glue. It becomes just as messy as glue in the end. Now, it's not lumpy like glue can be, you know, based on the way you apply it. But I've got finger cots now. So I can use these for potentially pasting on the glue while the hairpiece is upside down on the mannequin head and accurately getting that right. Now you saw in a previous video that I'm currently editing right now that it takes 18 minutes and 45 seconds to put little mini tabs of Walker tape, Ultra Hold minis, they're tape, all around the outside of the perimeter. That's what's on here, and a few on there. That took 26 tabs, and it took 18 minutes and 45 seconds of laborious effort. I'm quite confident I can apply liquid adhesive to the base of a hairpiece faster than 18 minutes 45. Then I'd walk away, take that little finger cut off, and wait 15 minutes, it would be dry, and then put it on my head. and it would be pretty accurate. So I think that's what I'll try next time. I have received some mail, which probably includes more tape, but given how long it takes to put tape on, and given that it is still really messy at the end, I mean, I'm sure it's quite easy to peel this off compared to peeling glue off. But there was a problem with the tape in that it had a line, a visible line of rectangularness, an unnatural, weird look to it. Also, it didn't go to the edge. Long application time. Doesn't go to edge. Unnatural rectangulariness for messy anyway. 5 holds pretty well. 6 not self-repairing. If a bit of it lifts off, you can't just press it back down, it won't stay. You gotta take the whole thing off and do it all again. Crazy. With liquid tape, with liquid adhesive, you can just press it down again and it remains sort of wet all the time. But I've complained for years about it sort of melting off my head. Now that could be because it's too thick. It could be the formula. I mean, these things are called Walker Tape Ultra Hold Minis. Why would they be using different glue? I think it's just an allotment of glue, the right amount of thickness of glue. So maybe I just have to learn how to apply thinner coats. Maybe I'll be able to achieve that better when I use the finger cot rather than the brush. That might help. So next thing I do, I'm gonna probably try to put glue, like liquid glue, rather than tape on my next version. In fact, I think this will be my 6th and final from this batch of my first ever hairpiece. I did receive 2, well, I received 4 in the mail. 4 was sent to me. I needed 2 new 0.03mm poly pieces, and I needed a French lace and a Swiss lace. Unfortunately, before they could change the order, they accidentally sent it all to me. So I got 4 0.03mm. I told them via email, well, really WhatsApp, but whatever, that they were shedding like crazy. When we were discussing why they were having problems with their research and development of my blonde roots method, invisible roots. And I said, it doesn't hold anyway. You're gonna have to use something much stronger. Your current formula sucks. It's just shedding like crazy. You advertise it to say that it's broken at the point of sale. You said, don't buy this if you want to wear it for more than a month. And I said a month might have been fine for my front partial, but this thing was shedding in the shower. When I scratched my head, it lasted 3 days and there was a giant hole in the back of it. And she said, send it back and just keep an extra one of those to replace it with. I didn't tell her that I'd used 5, but I didn't want to push my luck or anything. So the other ones are in the bin, and this extra one's been replaced for free, which is good. That's how it should be, really. It was not fit for purpose. In fact, I should have got refunds on all of them, but I didn't. I've got a relationship to uphold with those guys, and they've looked after me. Anyway, so I could use the final of the 6 from that original 6 batch that I bought, 6 pack. But I know it's going to shed. I know it will. And then my conclusion will have to be that all 0.03 millimeter poly units shed like crazy when they are full toppers. She made it seem like that's unusual. It's a bad batch. She's going to track it down and see how to prevent that in the future and so on. Maybe give some other people replacements if they bought them from that batch. Maybe, I don't know. Which means that potentially one of the new ones she sent me will not have shedding problems. Crazy shedding problems. So I think for my 6th piece, I'm going to have to use one of the new ones they sent me. This should be the final piece that I wear in this series. Now, I am going to try to wear it over the top of my hair. I know I've done this before and it doesn't work. But my ultimate setup would be, my ultimate setup would be this. Have some kind of haircut underneath that I can choose to take off and not look like a freak. And then put the hairpiece on when I want, right? Unfortunately, the problem with that is that scalp preparation and shave zonage makes it work much better. And also the darkness shines through and makes the tape or the connecting edge area visible. But that's with shorter hairstyles. Potentially with longer hairstyles, it will all cover over the problems. Maybe. So what I will do is take this new one, more coupon codes and stuff in all these. Alright. They're always giving you free hair pieces and look, free hair system if you send them a video. I think they owe me about 400 hair systems. Send a long video, 2 minutes to 10 minutes plus. You think any of my videos would qualify for that? Of you and your transformation process. Yeah, I reckon they owe me a few actually. Why should I feel guilty about asking for stuff? If that's the policy. Oh yeah, and the $50 coupon is the other one. Send us high quality before and after photos clearly showing the front, sides and back of your hair. $50 coupon. You could probably even conceal your eyes if you wanted to. If you didn't want people to know you were a baldy. Baldy. Okay. Now, if I decided to keep long hairstyle, and if I decided that the default out of the box is my size, it's going to be the size of my shave zone. Potentially I won't even shave the shave zone, I'll just leave it like this, or get one of those round things that lengthily shaves the stubble on my head all over. I might just keep it short and not do a shave zone. That way, if I'm just hot or if this thing's falling off my head or I can't be fucked or whatever else, or I'm walking that around the house, or I want to only put this on sometimes at home and other times not, I'll just have that at the same length. No shave zone, potentially. Also, no stencil, just shove this thing on my head, but I've got to apply glue, but... Alright, and the other thing is they have already cut off that front lip thing that is weird that I always complain about. That's part of their service now. That's what they do. Look. Back, front hairline there. This is not being bleached though. That's another thing I'm gonna have to do because I don't know about knots not looking good. Yeah, that's kind of done. Straight out of the box, right? And I could, it's probably a bit too long, I don't know. But, you know, if I wet it and brushed it and do the other shit. Now, I am not going to do anything to make you think that I've deliberately forced this thing to shed. Okay, I'm just brushing the hairpiece gently into position, okay? There's nothing rough about what I'm doing. I'm just brushing it, not forcing it against its own, where it wants to go, okay? It's just going with the brush, okay? No yanking or holding down and ripping out. Still bone dry. Amazing, isn't it? You would think that the water would penetrate through the different layers of hair, but it just doesn't for some magical reason. I figured out some really simple ways to explain things to people recently. One is I can visualize infinity by having a bowl with one M&M and taking it out, and that M&M always comes back. It just keeps coming, right? Infinity. I've just visualized infinity. And visualizing infinitely small, just take it out, it doesn't come back. Now it's infinitely small, the number of M&Ms in that bowl. You look at that empty bowl, it's, the number of M&Ms is infinitely small. There you go. I just visualized two versions of infinity. Secondly, I know, lifetime of work. I had two up my sleeve just then. I knew I wouldn't be able to speak fast enough to say them all. They're too good. I can't let them go. I've got to try. Something about what I was doing just now with this. Something clever. Something about the water not getting through to the bottom layer when you spray. That was one of them. It was something to do with the visual in the mirror of me putting that down in position. Fuck, I don't remember. Would I be willing to have an undercut to achieve what I'm saying? Because if this hair underneath was too long, we know what happens with that. It gets really stuck in there. It's impossible to get out. It's fucking hard. Anyway. So it would always be a kind of a uniformly short, shorn, what do you call it? Clippered look. A crew cut, basically. At all times. This is shorter than necessary, probably, because I shaved this down to a 6mm length. But that hair up there that's darker, up there, that fourish gump, top half is 9. And because it's so dark, it starkly juxtaposed against the very white skin beside it, forcing people to go, boom, that guy's bald. Yeah, this is a good hairstyle for a guy who plays guitar on stage, sings. Not right now, but if I style it nicely, I could do a lot with it. If I was fucking some chick, and I haven't done it for 8 years, so I shouldn't speak like I'm getting in some all the time. And this came off. At least it's a normal fucking thing going on under there, unless there's bits of glue stuck in all through it. That's bad too. In which case I probably just want it to stay on my head at all times. Summer. I haven't experienced summer at all. Currently in this room it's 67 degrees, 67% humidity, 55 to 60 I think is comfortable for a human being, 21.9 degrees Celsius, which is about 73 degrees, 75 degrees Fahrenheit. Alexa, what's 21.9 degrees in Fahrenheit?
21.9 degrees Celsius is 71.42 degrees Fahrenheit.
71.4. Alexa, what's 20 degrees Celsius in Fahrenheit? I've always said
20 degrees Celsius is 68 degrees Fahrenheit.
68, close enough. Yeah, I think I'll stick with what I was doing in my head. 20 equals 70, 25 equals 80, 30 equals 90, 35 equals 100. So I think if I say 40 and I'm guessing 110, it might start getting off a little bit. Alexa, what's 40 degrees Celsius in Fahrenheit?
40 degrees Celsius is 104 degrees Fahrenheit.
Alright, okay. Now I'm starting to have a mismatch. It's falling by the wayside a little bit, my theory now. Because, yeah, when you get to 35 and it's 95 and then it's 40 is 104, I'm starting to miss the mark a bit. So it's not foolproof, it was just my easy 5s and 10s shifting kind of just memorization. Probably would have been just about the same amount of effort to memorize each of those figures. Don't you think? Probably. It just 35 and it's 95 and then it's 40.
Fucking shut up, dude.
104.
Shut the fuck
I'm
up.
starting to miss
I'm gonna
the
edit
mark
all
a
this
bit.
out.
So
Well,
it's
some
not
of it.
foolproof, it was just my easy 5s and 10s.
Sure it was.
shifting
Yeah.
kind of
You spent half an hour
memorisation.
explaining it.
Probably
Don't
would
worry,
have
I'll
been
fix
just
this,
about
I'll
the
fix
same
this.
amount of effort.
Dude, shut up. I'm gonna edit out a little bit of this, alright, for you? Because it's blah 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 blah.
The comparisons are not nice and neat. The alternative, what I was going to do with this was shave a narrower stencil and try to match it all up. Like down the center. Just try and make it whole new system. Invent a new stencils, hype, using... I got a few more of these rubbery things. So I could potentially have made some new stencils and I might still try to do that. But as it stands, I just want something on my head I can just put on my head and walk out the door because I'm sick of this shit. Completely sick of fucking doing this. And I know that if I can just shove something on my head, it will piss me off a lot less. Especially if it's pre-glued and ready to just pop on, you know what I mean? And maybe even pop off if it annoys me. Just take the whole thing off and I've still got a normal hairstyle underneath. But then I can't, people don't respond well to hair hats. They don't understand them. They don't understand that we have them as little pets. We nourish them and we love having them in our lives. And sometimes we want to let them curl up in a little ball on our heads, and other times we just want to have some fresh air and just leave them at home with the nanny. People just don't get that. So, until that day comes, you can only pick one. And the one you have to pick is basically a hairpiece until the day you decide to quit forever. Because once people see that you've gone fully bald, you can't grow your hair back by magic, so you must be wearing a hairpiece, and then they're going to ridicule you because it's still taboo. So, anyway, I want the least amount of effort possible. Sticking this onto this is the least amount that I can think of at the moment. I kind of want to throw this one away. It is shedding too much and all that sort of stuff. But one thing it could be used for here is to stick it down over here and spray this area. It also acts as kind of a template in its own right. Anyway, it's just so dirty and I don't want to ever clean it. That's another thing, I just touched it. Now I'm going to disinfect my fingers. I'll speak to you later. I'm going to go back to editing for you. For fucking you. I've only spent thousands of hours on this. Some people are clicking dislike. Do you know that? I'm getting like 39 likes, but then it's like 1 dislike. What the fuck? What, did it not end up looking good? As I show you the experimental guinea pigginess that I've been doing for fucking you. This is not, like, it's hundreds and hundreds of hours of my time. Do you get it? I'm not getting paid anything, all right? Unless you maybe buy some shit from the Amazon links below. Can you fucking do that? I'm hoping somebody in the whole time these videos exist will click on one of these Amazon affiliate links. And I've got a timer. If nobody buys anything, I'll be dropped out of the program. And I just had a massive argument with Amazon because they're cunts, basically. I used to sell things through Amazon and they are cunts. Like the maximum level. Like if you could find them, you would kill them. Like obviously, there's no doubt. Like if you could find out where they were and there was a button just saying press me if you want to kill this prick, right? Boom. Was it like there would be no ethical question in your mind, in your soul. Even if you're a priest, you'd still press that fucking button. I just woke up and I thought, alright, today I'm gonna sort this out and put it on my head. And I looked in the mirror and I thought, fuck, that's alright. That's alright. Right? Just fucking walk around like this for the rest of your life. Who cares? This starkness is to do with a massive difference in colour between the skin and there. If this was more exposed to the sun, though this is about as brown as I'm ever going to get, really, let's be honest. I don't tan. I could try to put fake tan and it look a bit orange and stuff, but I could dye this, you know, and it blends better. The main problem is being overweight, surely, come on. Then I don't have to worry about hairpieces ever again. Then I could move on to transplant technology. Probably have to take estrogen tablets and get rid of my testicles or something to make sure the hair doesn't fall out. Finasteride or some shit every single day. I don't know. But overall, that's probably a bit less effort. And then there's the whole thing about the hairs that come out of you look like pubes. I don't know. Is it good enough technology? I don't know. But what about the option of just being shaven the head? Bald, but just being bald. This is going to keep degrading over time. This is going to keep falling out. I could try to reduce that with pills, or I could just accept that it's going to keep falling out forever. The only problem here, right, is that people will have seen me bald, and then if I decide to go back to having a hairpiece, then they will know that I'm wearing a wig. At the moment, I've kept up the charade for 14 years from the time I started thinning, so some people wouldn't be able to know, but I've lost most of my friends and everything. I'm starting again every time. The family's falling to pieces, nobody cares anymore, and it's just a hell of a lot of effort. Like, I could go skydiving with this right now. My main concern lately has just been getting rid of that giant dumping ground of video footage of me just talking to you forever. And I've laid it on you. I've given you so many hours of footage. And if any of you have stuck through and watched all of it, then God, thank you so much for listening to me. Like, I've got no one really to listen to me. My mum is the closest thing, and she's in hospital with cancer. She doesn't have time, or even when she didn't have cancer, she wasn't listening. She occasionally listened to some of my videos, I think, but she keeps on asking me, is it on Facebook? So, YouTube. She doesn't know the difference. So, she does. She's lying. But she makes out like she's innocent. So she doesn't have to do anything. But I don't really expect her to watch all this footage about something that she has no concern. She does now. She's losing her hair now because of the chemo. But yeah, I wouldn't make her wear a hairpiece. Imagine in hospital. Imagine lying in hospital, constantly having to worry about a fucking hairpiece when you're trying to recover from fucking cancer. And she's got influenza while she's got cancer. That's bad. Right now, it's fucked up, actually. Yeah. I've got this new plan to go to the gym, and I want to unpack all this stuff that I've got in the mail. Can I just open all that now? Because I was thinking, I woke up thinking I've got creaks in my neck and torn ligaments all over my shoulders and legs and ankles and everything. I feel like shit. I would take it really gentle on the treadmill at the gym. When I'm talking about gym, I'm not talking about I have to target shit. I'm just talking about playing computer games while I walk on the treadmill. Now the problem with computer games is your arms are up here the whole time while you're on the treadmill, right? and Fitbits don't work because that relies on swinging arms, and the phone with pacer, which counts the number of steps, that's usually sitting there so I can take calls and stuff as well, so I don't want to put that in my pocket. It's uncomfortable for that distance to have this big phone sticking up and down in your pocket. Right, so I can't count my steps on those things. I'll just use the treadmills machine to tell me and I'll just write it down. Oh yes, I did 3 hours walk today or whatever. 3 hours is a long time though, don't hold me to 3 hours a day. Though I do have time to do that, I do have time. It's just the incessant music. So that's why I wanted to mix it up between gym, treadmill and walking the streets. But the thing is, I'd have to combine Fitbit or whatever else with the treadmill. So I guess if the phone was in my pocket, or maybe if you're holding the phone like this while you walk, like 90% of the time, right? Because I'd be walking in the middle of the night when there are no cars, no people, nothing, right? No wonder I'm so pale. I never see the sunlight. But the phone, I don't think, counts steps properly when you're holding it smoothly so you can see it while you walk. I don't think the accelerometer bounces around enough to monitor what a step means. Anyway, let me go get the packages and open them and see what I got. Because either way, there's stuff in there to make a stencil, and if I'm going to put this thing on my head, I'd probably want a stencil. But looking at my head right now, I'm like, fuck. Can you really be bothered? Just go to the gym. Just go like this. Just go like this. I'll regret it though. I know I regret it. I always regret it when I expose myself without hair. And then I go back to hair every time. It's just that right now, and maybe potentially for a life change, I don't want to do that anymore. Maybe. Let's see what I got in these packages. Six dildos. Oh, colouring caps to make stencils. I'm still not sure if I can make a decent stencil out of these things yet. Oh, that's good. Scotch with a dispenser. It's a nice wider, that should make it easy to make one of your style stencils. And I guess that helps clip it as well. Nice little design on that. I love when they do decent engineering. You know how I have to cut my hand over an area to try to block it from glue and razor? I thought I need them to be sort of disposable. So I got a bunch of hair bands. See if they come in handy. They might be good. All right, this is from America. Heaps more minis. Ultra hold mini tabs. 2 packs of 3, so that's 6. So that's 72 times 6. Good luck with that one. I think about 420 something. 420, 432. I don't know. And ultra holds 3/4 inch wide, 12 yard length. That's what 12 yards looks like. Could be easier going down to the center if I continue to use tape. I don't know if it'll stick to hair. That's what I'm going to try to do today if I don't sit down and drink Milo and don't do any exercise, which I don't ever do. But I've been meaning to. In fact, I don't really want to open this box because I know this is the exercise box. I'm not going to open it fully, right? Because the moment I open it fully is the day I have to start And if I don't, I'll quit. I don't want to quit. This thing here wraps around your bicep or your guts or whatever, and then it sends a Bluetooth signal to your Renfo health app. Apparently that hooks into your iPhone health app, maybe your Android health app. Same with these scales in here, which I don't want to open yet because I don't want to know how much I weigh while I'm drinking fucking Milo. They're my deliveries for today. STENCIL stuff. Yeah. What I was thinking is, I walk around like this all the time, the way it is now, maybe get it down to... See, if I have really sparse hairs here on the sideburns and everything, then I still look kind of pale, like I sort of might as well have shaved my head down to a 0. I'm sure that creature that lives inside my braids would die if it was not able to hide inside hairs. As we saw, like I shaved through all those scabs and they disappeared in like 2 or 3 days. They were dead, or they crawled off to some other part of my head. But I wouldn't want to. I don't identify as a baldy. So there. I don't want to shave it ever fully. What I would do is I'd leave at least a horseshoe or something, but why would you choose that? I mean, it's like Ed Harris, right? He's made a good career like that. Same with, who's the action guy from England? Fucking, you know the guy I'm talking about. But he's got a tanned head. He's in heaps of movies, right? Anyone with a shaved head who's an action hero basically has big muscles, okay? They're not going to put some fat-ass baldy into an action film. Or they're not going to let them kiss the lead female character, that's for damn sure. Anyway, I'm going to drink this Milo and not look at the fitness equipment. Because what my intention is, right? Walking, which is a way of burning calories. And so, getting the blood flowing through your body and making you feel overall a bit more awake, and so you don't have to sleep as long and waste your time. And it's boring as fuck, right? I wouldn't want to stand on a treadmill for 3 hours just looking at a wall. That's why they give you TVs to watch and so on. But you really need to be engaged with what's happening on those screens. So I've got an iPad. It doesn't really hold well on the ones at the gym because they try to be all streamlined about it to look futuristic. Really, the lowest, probably less than 1 amp USB charger coming out of the thing. It's fucking ridiculous. My iPad chews through power way faster than that thing can put charge in. So I've got to bring my own battery pack and I've got to set all this equipment up and stuff. But for 3 hours, my iPad can survive for about 3 hours on one full charge, which takes about, I don't know. If you have a fast charger, you can fully charge an iPad in about 8 hours, and then you get 3 hours full use out of it. And that's it. And then you get sort of trickle charge. If you leave it plugged in while you're using it with a fast charger, it will survive. If you're using a standard, even 2 amp charger, it's not going to survive. Anyway, why am I wasting your time talking about that shit? Something to do with hair. This is to do with hair, okay? Am I going to put these things around and try to use them to help me? Seemed like a good idea at the time. Maybe they'll help work. At least they're not bendy, right? These could be stencils, but they stretch and bend. Your method, using tape and saran wrap, shrinks on its own. But I think after it's shrunk, it maintains its size. And I do feel like this thickness tape will make the job a lot faster than skinny tape. And just looking at how transparent it is, I feel like that will probably be a really effective... I mean, that's extremely clear tape. Look how you can see through layers of glue and plastic all the way down to the core. That is a beautiful looking thing. Look at that. It's beautiful, really. It's one of the most beautiful things I've ever purchased in my life. Fuck this shit. Who makes these stupid fucking things? When you get a pair of glasses, they give you one of these in the glasses case, and then you're supposed to breathe on them or something and just wipe it. It's very difficult to handle unless you've got little baby fingers. Then you go to the chemist and you see these things, one-use wipe. They do work, but they're even smaller than this. It's hard to handle. There's this little fiddly thing to try to clean glasses. My cousin gave me this, right? This is a microfiber cloth, and it's big, and it's easy to handle, and I use a big lens cleanser like this, and then I just clean the glasses. It is so much easier to have the right tools for the job. I swear to God. That applies everywhere in life. Today I am going, it's midnight, I've just finished a mammoth game of Northgard. I just finished watching the entire first season of Acolyte. By the way, I don't mind it so much. It's not a problem. It's great. It's good. Bad acting, obviously, a lot of the way through. But there were some stars in there, and formulaic, yes. Some of the lines pretty shit, but overall, still seemed like ancient Star Wars to me. 1,000 years before the events of the Skywalker saga. So it's fine. It's good. And I'm glad to see more of the universe, but of course for me, and I think for everyone who loves Star Wars, the characters they know and love are all part of the Star Wars, of the Skywalker saga. So I mean, even if we look back and see some of the history of some of the characters mentioned, like Darth Plagueis, the master of Darth Sidious, or Palpatine, or the Emperor, right? We want to see his history. What was the story between Plagueis and Sidious? That'd be an interesting story. It's interesting that they didn't go there straight away. It's probably a good thing because they'll get better at Star Wars. Hopefully Disney will become better at making Star Wars. And when they finally do make that important story, it'll be awesome. There are a lot of complaints about the prequels, and then the sequels, 7, 8, and 9. But they're stuck. They're locked in. That's law now. Obviously, people who are nerds have read all the stories of alternative outcomes between Leia and Han's children, and so on. But that's been done now. And just learn to like it, because that's what there is. If you think back about the original Star Wars trilogy, if that came out today after Marvel and everything, it really wouldn't be that interesting and amazing. We just loved it because it was so new and different, and it was made for children, and kids could go and watch it, and it's part of what we watched growing up. So it's brilliant for us. If you stick with like sci-fi that's made for kids, you can't really do better than Star Wars because the characters were so easy to understand. C-3PO and R2-D2 as a pair of friends who we love watching their story and how they communicate between the humans. It's great. I love it. And even the Ewoks. I love the Ewoks. I wanted an Ewok, right? Above a dog and a monkey, I wanted an Ewok. So let's not complain about Ewoks. So if you think back, 1977, the year I was born, A New Hope came out. It was called Star Wars. But Lucas had already kind of planned, if he'd had the money and budget and everything, to make a full, long story. So let's call it A New Hope. And then back to Empire Strikes Back, 1980, Return of the Jedi, 1983. Big gap. Then they sort of remade it, I think 1997. They re-released that original trilogy. And then, straight afterwards, they started advertising, seeing a little boy with a shadow of Darth Vader. And we thought, what? Darth Vader's like, he's dead. What's going on? Because I don't think there had ever been a prequel, not a famous prequel movie, ever made. And so to go back and show us the backstory of little Darth Vader growing up, amazing. Obviously, was made for toddlers more than teenagers or kids. So it was a little bit ridiculous and just too cute or something. But there were great parts of that story, and obviously there was some bad acting involved, etc. Anyway, it got better when the intensity grew. Like say in what was the third one called? Revenge of the Sith. So it went, I think, was it The Force Awakens? No, The Phantom Menace, Clone Wars. Oh, no, sorry, Attack of the Clones. So it goes The Phantom Menace, Attack of the Clones, Revenge of the Sith. Then A New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi. Then I think it's The Force Awakens, The Last Jedi, and then what's 7 called? 9 called. I stopped caring enough when I started seeing horses on the outside of a Star Destroyer. It was The Last Skywalker or something. Anyway, I'm procrastinating. I'm going to put a hairpiece on my head because I want to go to the gym kind of now and measure my body and everything. It is 12:30 at night, but I woke up at 6 p.m, so I've been sitting in a chair, sore neck, sore ligaments, sore everything. And I can't get on with my life unless I walk out like this. And I haven't made that decision, even though I kind of look like this guy who doesn't have glasses. Maybe I should have drawn that he had glasses. But I was 13 when I invented him in year 7. Okay. What am I going to do? I'm pretty sure I want to go 10 inches here, right? So let's look at this. This is one of the hair pieces that Lord Hair sent me, which are part of a completely new batch. That was the 5th one from the old batch, and all of them were shedding like crazy. There is a chance that was just a bad batch, all of them. Whereas this one might be okay. I do have the 6th one, but because I really want it to work for you guys, so we have final, wow, we've got the answer. You don't need to throw all these out and use lace or a thicker version of poly. It might be possible to use these and not worry that they're going to shed. So I will try this one, okay? If I just tug on it gently on the edges, nothing's come out, but it hasn't been in the shower or heated up in any way. So maybe that's what it takes to start wrecking it. I don't know. Do I have a stencil? No. What I'm going to do is I'm going to figure out with a ruler where on my head I'd want the width. I'm going to keep this 10. I'm going to try to find the center of this. Then I'm going to measure out to the width that I decide. So I'm just going to examine where I would want that to land. Where should it land? The first ones I did when I did cut them at all and made a stencil, was I just mimicked where it landed when I wore a front partial, because I didn't really think I wanted any kind of there. And I go up. Where would I want it to land? Maximum. I feel like that's the spot where I just touched it gently because I was trying to figure out what I was going to decide there. That seems on par with how it already was. Maybe not, I don't know. And then go straight across back from there. What do you think of that? I'll go with the contour of what this thing gives me. But from there, I can now start deciding on a different width. So if I was to imagine a straight line going across, because it would probably be a straight line, I might just go ahead and do that. And that would give me 6. That would be very narrow. But if I force it to be at the widest point, 6. I'm a bit shaky from sitting down and being, I don't know, maybe dehydrated. I haven't drunk alcohol, but yeah, I'm not feeling great. I feel rushed because the camera's ticking and I don't want to make a massively long video this time, but I'm going to, bad luck. 6. If it's 6, I could flow it down, all the way down around the edges. If I shaved all that out. Trying to go tight within the bald area would result in a hook when I'd have to grow my natural hair up there and it'd be hooked down because I don't want that to be that narrow where I've got massive recessions. So I guess I could go 6. Before it was 8. So I'm losing an inch off either side. That's a fairly big compromise there. Let's just stick with that. So what I'll do is it'll have to be on this dome here as well. Just shaky, my hands are so shaky. You know what I'll have? Cereal. I'll eat cereal. I can easily find the center point here though first. And you have to use a marker that doesn't leave a mark. At the moment I feel a bit faint actually. The power of 1, the power of 2, the power of many. I've been watching a heap of Acolyte reviews. Just people are destroying that show. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, there's bad acting, there's bad writing, but, you know, it's always been like that with Star Wars. That's why I give it grace, you know? In terms of making reference to minority groups getting representation in the show in a big way, putting them forward as if they're the main people in society. I don't care. Like, they need, like, I look at this historically, like, it'll be a blip on the radar of people complaining about things. That's not the issue. People care more about storytelling. The problem is that people claim that Disney are trying to be so giving people a moral of the story, which is be woke, be politically correct to the extent that, see, what we're trying to do, or heroes or freedom fighters try to do, is represent the underdog so that they are not annihilated from society, ostracized without cause, innocent people being victimized without reason, which is good. That's the way the world should be. But it doesn't seem like there's a big struggle for these minority groups. There might be some struggle for them. I'm not one of them, so I don't know. I'm a white privileged male, right? Give me more. I haven't felt like that throughout my life. I haven't felt I've been given preferential treatment over women or people of a different race. I haven't felt that way. Maybe I've just ignored it because I haven't needed to worry about it. Maybe that's what it is. The thing is, the story has to be good. The writing has to be good. Even if it was a lesbian witch coven back 100 years before the events of The Phantom Menace. The Rise of Skywalker was number 9, by the way, I looked it up. It's fine. Why can't there be a lesbian coven back in history? That's fine. What's wrong with that? Doesn't matter. They're not even lesbian. They're just all women. There are 2 mothers, but they used the virgins. What people complain about is the Force being converted into the thread and stuff like that, right? But that's just, of course there would be other names for the Force. That makes sense. It's good. It adds to the story. It means that these people, even though they all speak English and they're human beings, right, throughout the whole universe, unless you got a lump on your head or some weird thing or pokey ears, right? Star Wars failed with all of that anyway from the beginning, because everyone's just kind of humanoid except Jabba, which is an interesting slug type creature, right? And a few others. So for them to have different word for the force, that's not a problem. It's nothing, right? So I don't think it's a problem. Yeah, sure, insult the storyline, insult the acting, but don't insult that minority group's representation. And this isn't me being woke. I hate the dystopian George Orwell 1984 thought police what is it called? Double speak? I can't remember what it's called. When there's a new type of speaking, and you have to use the right words, otherwise you get thrown in jail and just disappear. Which is what the left, which is what I was. Basically, I was raised as a hippie, and I didn't know that that meant left wing of the French Revolution government, which is now portrayed as people who are progressive, libertarian, liberty, or something to what's the Australian party called? The Australian Liberal Party. People who are liberal, freedom loving. I don't know why freedom loving goes hand in hand with closed-mindedness and taking away the rights of people to have free speech. Doesn't sound like freedom to me. So that's why, anyway, I don't understand people who just go, what are the set of rules I have to follow? I have to follow a set of rules. What group can I be a part of? This one or this one? There are only two. There aren't two. You can choose everything from everywhere in your mind. Don't choose a group. Just fucking think for yourself. Anyway, I don't see many of these freedom lovers fucking putting down the knife and fork when a dead corpse of an animal has just been raped and murdered and torn from its mother has been placed on a plate in front of it. They go, racist is bad, racism is bad. They have no idea what they're saying. They're awful fucking brainwashed morons who don't think for themselves, okay? If anyone complains about racism and they eat meat, they're a fucking hypocrite at the highest level. So, look, I'm a hypocrite too because I drink milk, okay? So don't follow anyone. Just think for yourself, always. I have got the sneaking suspicion that temporary markers, non-permanent markers is what they're called, or just whiteboard markers, potentially could wipe off the poly base. Potentially it will just wipe off easily. Ready? That's the temple. Should I do it on here? This one's all icky and yucky. Look, I don't want. Let's have a look. Seems to come off just fine. That is the ideal marker. The reason I suspected it would work is because that red stuff I drew in here just came off from me just, I don't know, scratching my head or whatever for the last hour or so. And it's not there anymore, so I thought maybe it comes off this too, which is good. So now I can just use... The other thing I've got is this thing, which is all white. Eyeliner pencil. Doesn't really seem like a pencil though, it seems very paint-like, like a paint, some sort of crayon paint, weird stuff. But it's smudgy, right? Too smudgy, I'd say. Whereas this stuff, let it dry. That's fine, and it's very easy, and I can use this and trace it on a pen and it's not going to run out in 30 seconds, okay? So the textures and pencils and chalk and everything we're looking for, we just get these exact ones. They're fucking awesome, made in Germany. Love them. 4. I don't know how to get the next mark. Between there and there it seemed fine. Maybe if I measure in a round circle from the exact corner here,
potentially, no, that's not going to work. I think from this point I just kind of get a guess. So if we're going to make it 6 wide, should I make it 6 wide though? Should I make it 6 wide? If I make it 6 wide, will the hairs down there sort of work, brush sideways? Will it work with this sort of undercut here, or look weird? Mohawky. 6 wide will probably result in the hairline finishing there, along up there. So that, all that. Okay, let's do it. I don't know what to expect anyway. I don't know what's normal. I could try to fold it in the middle, but it's round, so that'd be arbitrary. I'm just going to go 1 inch up from the edge. And then what? I don't know. I don't know what to do next. I seriously don't know. Probably better off just measuring my head. This is hard. That method, it's too prone to disaster. I have to go back to the traditional method, which is make a stencil. That's the only real way that I can see. As you can see, the material stretches, the tape stretches, the curvature of the mannequin head is different in different spots. We're measuring for my head, not the mannequin's head. So I've got to... Let's just figure out if this thing is as good as it looks. This is tape from Scotch company. Or as the Americans would say, it's Scotch from the Scotch company. Okay, it's 20.5 at a place that I didn't want, so that's the first fail. Yeah, it's torn in places already where I didn't want twice. 3 times. It's brand new, but it's disintegrating. For my very fingers. I don't know what that bit was for. That should have been the starting bit. Alright. Now, what are we... Are there instructions? I guess there would have been. There they are. Can you read that? I can't see that shit even work. Pull tape through. Hold side grips and twist to cut. Twist to cut. I've got to sit down, my back's killing me and I feel faint and very sweaty. 22 degrees in this room, I don't know what it is. And 58% humidity, I don't know what it is. I feel like shit. Do I cut it that way or the other way? Because the tape's facing upwards, that's weird. It should face downwards in every case, surely. Did they just put it in the wrong way around? Do I gotta spin it around? Tell me if you can understand these instructions. Pull tape through tabs. Are these the tabs? The sticky side is up, by the way. What else would be the tabs? 2. Hold side grips and twist to cut. Hold side tabs. No, hold side grips and twist to cut. The picture was not of any use. Hold side grips, it's obviously a grip, and twist, twist, twist. Is that what they mean by twist? That's twist, that's not twist. Anyway, that worked. Now the sticky side is facing downwards. This thing's falling out of its holder. I don't like it. It doesn't matter that I'm sweating, I'll just get this fucking thing over and done with. I think I've got to twist it so it conforms to the head better. God, you know what? I could just choose to go bald. Please don't be a cunt. Start here. What is going on? Can you tell me what the fuck's going on up here? It's not unrolling properly. It's all stuck. What the hell? So counterintuitive. It's not good. It's whatever's the trick is to this. I don't know what it is, and it's not easy. It's really hard. Look, you want to pull from there so you can pull there, but that's where it breaks apart, and then the question marks start into you. It's gripping on itself the whole. Maybe it's something I'll get used to. And you've got to put your fingers on the blade every time you hit the... Oh, and it spins in and wakes your finger every time. Fuck this shit. Who makes these stupid fucking things? Fuck you, fucking piece of shit. Fuck this thing. Why is that even press downable? I don't even know. I have no idea what that part is for. Like, what the fuck? Press your hands on the grip, simple as 1 and 2. Piece of shit.
It just tears this tape. It just tears. Don't even need scissors. It'll just rip arbitrarily wherever it wants. It feels nice and hard plasticky though, so if I can get it done. This dispenser is shit. I think the tape might work well. I'm not sure. But be careful doing that. Like you could scoop out some forehead meat. Seriously. So fucking loud. I wonder if there's something I can put on that clock to stop it being reflective. I should know what to do. It should be like kill bond, kill shine killer. I have the black shit. It might work on there. I don't know. What about hairspray? Do you reckon hairspray's gonna help you? This is Tresemme perfectly undone. That made it more reflective, didn't it? That didn't help you at all. Whoever made this could not have done a worse job. It looks brilliant. It looks so nice. I would have thought that had something to do with it, but what is it? Where your hand goes? I don't know how I'm supposed to hold this. That finger there and the thumb there with that pointer finger there. I'm assuming with my little finger in there, it's not rotating. It's just stuck all the time. It fucking doesn't work. Now I just have to trace my bolts area. That's according to you guys, but my bolt area ends there. But I want to make a hairpiece that covers all of that, so the faint area, no, I don't want to just do the faint area. I want a hairpiece that covers an area that's brushable. Right, I'm going back, not just to the edge of the crown, but to 10 inches. I'm going to go set up a power mirror before I faint. What the fuck's my head? Okay, so what I'm looking here now is opposite. So I say left and it's on the right hand side of this screen down here. But when I swing this around the back, left, see? It works when I'm facing toward, when you're behind me, that's when it works. Okay. So I need 10 inches down there. So how am I supposed to trace a stencil without knowing? I'll mark the front center where my hairline should be, though it's fucking impossible to tell. I have to kind of approximate this. I'm just going to condense this down so it will be sort of unmoving at the end, hopefully. Excuse me, I'm just going to get right up into the mirror here. I'll estimate the centre as well while I'm here so that I can measure it out afterwards. This is permanent marker. So up front center, back center,
just estimating where the center is on my head. I need 6-inch width, so from there, I'll put the 3 in the middle. If you're getting any of this, I can't. It's too much to worry about. You fucking hell. Where's that line? 6. I'm just guessing all of this. Okay. I'll make sure I got that 3 in the middle so I get a decent indication there. Make sure that's correct. 6 goes. We need to get back round to that 10 mark. I'm going to cut this out conservatively. It's the best I can do. I'm going to put a bit of extra tape. Oh fuck, I've got to use this thing. This wasn't fully covered with tape, so I'm just going to round that out so it gives more strength. Shut up. So, alright, not anymore. You could lubricate a pussy with what's in here. Look at him faint. So I'll try to cut this conservatively. I go too big rather than too small. This tape, despite the difficulty of application because of the stupid dispenser, oh God, I just get splashed in the face by my own filth. I bet you say that to all the girls. I do. This tape is really robust. I'm
can probably recommend it, just not the dispenser. Though the dispenser, if you don't mind making noise, like you heard how loud that is. I don't know what the living conditions are like, but I shouldn't be making that much noise at 3 o'clock in the morning. But if you're a daytime person, your life is easy anyway, so you can get it in. Society accepts you. Is that the front? Does that look like more of a realistic size? Doesn't seem to want to fold back down all the way to 10 though, does it? It's recoiled, has it? Or is that the front? Oh, I remember that line there being closer to the front. I'm just going to say this is the front. I'm writing F, by the way, just in case you can't see what I'm doing. Front. That's how it's going to look. So it's going to go up. It'll be a more amount to cut off there, and it'll turn into a sliver as we get to the back. But before I cut this $300 hairpiece into pieces, should I contemplate whether or not it's a good idea? I'm not going to take you with me, but right now I'm going to go and watch some of the other guys' videos. To see what shape their hairpieces are. 6 by 10. Let's measure it again now that I've made it. Right, there's my conservative cut. It's more than 6. It's 6, I would say 0.3, but you've got to say 0.3 6 3/8 inches. Fuck, I can't do this with my, it's breaking my head to say 3/8. At the widest point probably. And then down in the front it's getting narrower and narrower. Do I want it to get that narrow? Well, would I want it to get most wide out here? Why? Because I didn't measure it nicely. I didn't know what I was doing. I just freehanded the whole thing. At any rate, I went over with by 3/8 of an inch at one point, so maybe the 6 inches is respectable, closer to the front. Okay, so at that point it's 6 inches wide. And it goes to 6 3/8, and then at the back it gets pretty narrow. Could be good enough. Fuck, I don't know. I'm going to go watch some other people's stencils on the video. It'll take me about 10 hours. I don't know. I could be back much sooner. 4:16 if that's too reflective for you to read, okay? I just watched Santa Claus Rick in Super Hairpieces video showing how he measured how he cut out, how he traced his hairpiece using his stencil. It seemed about the same width as this, maybe. But he had widened. Just got to recharge this light. But he had widened it, like he'd widened his shave zone deliberately. And so his new stencil was wider. And he was wearing an old piece that was had an inch gap, because he didn't want to waste it. So he still wore it. And he didn't care that, you know, if the wind blew, I guess he doesn't go out in the wind. Or he downs the hatches with hair product or something.
Well, let me show you something. When I said it doesn't have to be perfect, look at that. And look at that. See, I started shaving my head a little further out, so this unit didn't fit it. But would anybody ever know that? Not a chance. So come in just a little bit, not much, so it's easier for you to get on. And like I said, you certainly can't tell it because that's bad.
Anyway, the fact that he widened it makes me think that he widened it so that he could make hairstyles that would be more appropriate than having a mohawk style, which this might end up being. Now I've got this old hairpiece that I would have to clean and experiment on, but if it's wrong, this won't matter because I'm going to throw it out anyway. But there's glue all through it from the tape. The tape seems to have been messier than standard adhesive glue, even though I do kind of intend to still use tape for this next piece. But what I intend to do next time with all this tape that I bought is cover the entire piece so there are no air gaps. And I also intend to just place it down on top of my hair. See what happens, alright? See if I can get away with it. I'm feeling pretty faint, so I'm going to sit back down again, and then either I'll make the wise decision to clean that old piece, cut it out with this, and then put it on, or I'll just risk it by looking in the mirror and going, that's fine. Alright, anything's better than nothing. It's going to give me coverage. Brushing it might be weird though, because I'm probably just going to go straight onto my brand new piece that hopefully doesn't shed, which is not part of the original 6 batch. If this one sheds as well, I will simply conclude that 0.03mm poly pieces can't be trusted. But I think he was using one, and he said he loves it, and had no hair shedding going on. I really hope that this one does not shed. I've got 2 more good ones, so I'm not on the verge of running out completely. Okay, so I've put a little pin, one of those cut through your thumb pins. I'm going to use a whiteboard marker to trace. This is the good piece, or potentially good piece. That'll do, I guess. And just a reminder that this stuff does wipe off. Okay, so I think that's the one that went wide. And are you seeing this? Sort of try to stick on that line. Double check that's the correct one that I erased. Yeah. I'm just going to swap this pin out for the more durable one. I'm going to stay right on the line because I know I can wipe it. That could afford to be rounded more, but it is the back. It's not like anyone's ever going to see that. But if it was a shave zone, we'd want it to fit. very stark angle too. Need Gaviscon. Okay, so I've tried to match this stencil with that hairpiece. It's a brand new hairpiece, not part of the 6. I've used 5 of those 6 for the videos in this series so far. This 6th piece, hopefully this one will be the one to work. Yeah, and hopefully I can just stick it right down over the top of my hair. I'm just going to wet it to start. I don't know, reposition the camera. Now, this is a pretty bilaterally symmetrical hairpiece, so it might be very difficult for me to tell where the front is, but it does still have the Auschwitz tag on it, and it also has the contour that came from the factory, so I shouldn't have any problem figuring out which is the front and which is the back. Now I've just cut it, so the chances are that it will shed the loose hairs that I've cut. Because it has a lot of potential to rip, I'm holding it in the middle when I flick the hairs. I'm also flicking downwards so the hairs don't end up on the ceiling. Alright. Auschwitz tag at the back. I'm going to brush away from the front, okay? That's the front there, so I'm going to brush away from the front. This is very different from any hairpiece I've had before, okay? It's very long and narrow. 10 inches by 6 inches. Let's hope this one doesn't shed like crazy or have some weird crown problem. It's the old hairpiece. New hairpiece. Let's try it on. As I expected, it's got quite a large area above the ears. I'm just going to call them the Perry Mason lines. I don't remember what Perry Mason looks like. Let's just call them the sides. Because I don't have a word for the side hair of my head. Anyway, when you have a mohawk, they are short. Your Perry Mason's sides, I guess. Just say sides. But sides refers to a lot of things with what we do, isn't it? Sides. It's pretty good, ambiguous. All this glossary, all these inventions of words that I'm having to keep doing is just for the purposes of disambiguation. In most cases. Or simply identification in the case of things that I don't know what they're called. Now this hairpiece has not been bleached at the front. And you can fucking tell too. I'm going to reverse the camera and give you an extreme close-up of what I'm seeing here with the unbleached roots at the front. Okay, so instantly you see this very obvious doll's hair that is stark up against my white skin. And the doll's hairlines are absolutely screaming out, I am not real. So, now while I can't get down into the poly to bleach until they invent, and I have got a message recently from Lord Hair who are working on R&D for this for me, until they start bleaching that stuff, internally, there's not much I can do. I have often bleached along the front of the roots and it has had some effect. Much better than this, that's for sure. Am I willing to go and attach this to my head right now without bleaching it? Yeah, I'll give it a shot. Because I'm sick of, I'm exhausted. My back is killing me from standing up right now, and I've been feeling faint all day, all night. Now 5:36. Yeah. Having higher sides. Who the fuck is Perry Mason?
Perry Mason is one of the most popular American TV shows of all time.
What I was trying to think of was those dudes in cartoons who have greys all along the sides there, all weirdly, which I naturally have now as well. I'm not filming. Bye. I've got serious emphysema or something. Probably from vaping. I don't know. Well, then quit, you dickhead. I know. I've had respiratory, coronary. Experts look at it. They never found any problem. These should be the prescription lenses for my Quest 3. Hopefully now they'll be good. I won't have to send them back or something. VRrock.com, made in China. I gave them the specs that my optometrist gave me. They're also magnetic, I think. I paid extra for them. Tiny lens cleanser. Nice little pouch. Okay. Apparently they slide in to the grooves, and then the lens itself apparently magnets onto the base. Yeah. So that will magnet on. That means that when I want to share my VR goggles with somebody else, I can just pull these off magnetically, and the clicker, this attachment part, will stay embedded left and right. Look how dirty it is just from touching it with the back of my knuckle. Crazy. Alright, I'm going to put them in position. I would love to pre-glue. Oh, my dandruff seems to be coming back. Okay, yeah, it's whatever I've got. I'm pretty sure it's lung related. I'm pretty sure it's vape related. But going without a vape for more than 15 minutes makes me feel like I'm suffocating underwater, like drowning. So what do I choose? The long-term problem is probably worse. I should probably just endure the pain and suffering of withdrawal. But I can tell you right now, it will be like starving. It'll be like suffocating. It's worse than starving, isn't it? Suffocation. That's what it feels like to not vape. And I gave up smoking, for God's sake. Smoking didn't make me feel this way. But the other thing is, what enhances it? I ate 2 bowls of cereal and a bag of chips. So, and also Milo. Right now, I'm busting at the seams. Busting at the seams. The more I've eaten, I think the less room my lungs have to expand. Oh, is the battery run out already? This thing takes a lot of juice. I guess I did leave it on for an hour. I just started watching a TV series recommended to me. I think this is the one. It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. It's a light-hearted comedy, but at least there are 16 seasons, which gives me something to do, some feeling of being home. These guys are comedians, so it gives me a sense of, lightheartedness. Every episode probably stands alone, which is good, but there's probably an overarching theme to the whole thing. These guys, Square, 2005, I think they made reference to that year. It's a square television, 4:3 aspect ratio. So it's, I don't think of 2005 as really old, but if I think of where I was back then, it is a while ago. Yeah, I went and moved and lived in Sydney for years after that and came back to Melbourne. So it is a while ago. Spin around here for it quickly, please. Stay there. Let's just do this. I'll put my, I can't pinch and zoom from the front on this camera. All right. Which tape should I use? This one? Or more of these old little ones? These took me 18 minutes to put on last time. Let's see if I can beat that time. But the thing is, this is straight. So next time I cut a hairpiece, I should make sure it's just straight lines. Although that is a pretty straight line, I guess. Probably a bit curved, I don't know. I'm going to take this out of the packet. It's got a pretty strong smell. A bit like ultra hot glue. It's very narrow. This is 3/4 width, 3/4 of an inch. I'll go straight down the center to begin. Maybe I won't. Maybe I'll just do the edge, the external edge first. I mean, seriously, I'm about to fall over and faint or die or something. I've got to sit back down. I can't. I'm too unhealthy. I can barely breathe. All right. Yeah, my lungs probably have. Like, imagine if lungs expand down here. I don't know how big ones are. Right? Down to their diaphragm. The diaphragm is being, by all the food and everything being pushed up in here, and the lungs can only expand that much rather than that much. They're only like able to do that. So I'm like always short of oxygen, and because my areoli, is that what the air sacs are called? Fuck, I don't know. I'm always guessing because I lack so much knowledge. They're trying to suck in oxygen. But this room, for example, it feels like it's 35 degrees in here, but it's only 22. It's hot and stuffy in this room every time I come in here. I've got extreme tinnitus, which has this foreboding suffocation feel as well. Anyway, I sometimes suspected that this illness that I've got was caused by glue. The glue being on my head constantly and my head not being able to breathe, but I have not been wearing anything on my head for a while. So I think I can eliminate glue as being the problem causing this issue now. I cannot, however, eliminate vaping to be the cause. Those areoli, those air sacs. I don't know what's areoli? What's the area around your nipple called? Areola. What are aioli? Isn't that a type of garlic sauce? What the fuck are the air sacs called? It's not the same word as the bit around the nipple, is it? Anyway, they're covered in gunk. I'm sure they're covered in fucking disgusting brown gunk from. And I'm sure that the reason the top of my lip is still orange or brown after I've even shaved is probably because. Probably worse staining on that side than that side because I probably blow out the top, mate. Anyway, that colour, imagine that unwashed in there, filled with mucus, my body trying to clean it, so it's all just covered in drippy mucus and stuff all inside my lungs, I bet. So only expanding that much and trying to rely on those little air sacs, areoli, I don't know what the fuck they're called, I'm going to go look it up. I might look it up. And then maybe when I get back I'll either use, because I want to put this on my hair like this. I'm not even going to bleach the front hairline. I'm going to use tape, okay? Just because even though it ends up looking all gunky and gross at the end, that's after several days. So maybe like I'll only have it on for 2 or 3 days. We'll like check it, and it'll probably come off and end up flipping, because trying to stick to hair is not a very strong base. When it doesn't stick to my hair, maybe I'll use the number 6mm to do my whole head, and maybe when the stubble is short enough at 6mm, maybe that's short enough that it can stick. And it's not like I'm wasting several weeks of regrowth around the edges, because it's hardly regrown at all. It'll only take 2 or 3 days to get back to whatever length this is anyway. This is 9mm, that's all got to go anyway. If I do end up making a shave zone, I've got to sit down. Equi-lengthily. So cute, isn't he? Oh man, they're already dirty again. It's 11 minutes past 2 a.m. on the 29th of August 2024. I have cut out a hairpiece from a new order, not one of the original 6 batch that were all shedding like crazy. Here's the remnants of the last one, the 5th piece I tried on. The tape remnants still remain, and it's so disgusting and dirty and shedded that I just want to throw it out. But I was thinking maybe with the new shape that I cut, potentially there might be still some good left in it, but I don't think so. It probably just needs to go straight in the garbage. Now I was going to put this thing straight on my head. I was going to tape it again, because I'm going to try to stick over here, and I know that glue definitely will get embedded in the hairs, but tape may not, despite all these notes on the unnatural rectangulariness of tape. But before I do that, I realized I don't really want an unnatural front hairline. So let's just have a look at what unbleached roots look like along the front. I'll switch camera views so that you can see more clearly. Okay, so this is what unbleached roots are going to look like right along the front hairline. Just for the record, because I will now bleach this, and this is the last of the sheddy batch. I'm hoping that this one won't shed, but it's part of that batch. In fact, I'm hoping that this one that I've got on now, this new one, definitely won't shed, because if it does, it's a whole different batch. And the 2 others that I bought from Lord Hair, these are new as well from the 2nd batch. So I'm going to mark this and label it as sheddy. And even though it is sheddy, it's from the sheddy batch, I am still going to treat it with the same dignity as I'm going to treat these other 2. And the one I'm about to put on my head that's been cut using this stencil. And I'm going to bleach it with Schwarzkopf Nordic Blonde L1++. I will probably leave them on for 40 minutes, 45 minutes. You can cause a lot of damage, or you can destroy them if it's too long. So I'll set the alarm for 40 minutes after I've finished, and I guess it'll take me 5 minutes to do them all, so the ones that I did first will get 5 minutes extra development time. This is new packaging. I just want to see if everything else is the same as before. Yeah, that's all the same. Same. Gloves. Instructions. This will be my bin box. Before I settle this up, because this starts to degrade and not work anymore after a certain number of hours, maybe after 3 hours, I don't know. I'll set up all these hair pieces now, wet them, lay them out on the floor, brush them back from the front, and then they'll be ready to start mixing this and bleaching the front hairlines of all 4 of these. These are all my hair pieces in the whole world. So actually 1 hair piece and 3 hair systems, because the hair system is no longer the size that I'll be wearing, as far as I can understand, depending on how well this fits. But yeah, in every case I want to at least try to bleach along the front hairline there. There is one thing different about this one. This lid is more practical. It's already the way it should be. Don't know why they ever made it any different, really. So I'm going to take the, unscrew that. It's sealed with tin foil, but the lid, it becomes a poker. So you can crack that open. That goes in the bin. So these 3 here are full-sized hair systems, and this is the hair piece that I cut. Now unfortunately I don't really know exactly where the front hairline should end on this one, because I don't want blonde coming along over the top of my natural hairs. I'll do that one last. For the rest, I'll go from temple, where the angle of curvature changes from the back and sides to the front hairline, which is clearly marked there. Alexa, set the alarm for 40 minutes.
40-minute alarm set for 3:13 a.m.
It's a lot dodgier doing this because it's curved. In the old days, when I just had a front partial, it was flat, so I could easily see that it was just going to stay flat. But now the hairs are all bunched up and there's folding and stuff going on. Anyway, let's just hope that that's all good enough and it won't make it look like roadkill. Leftover just goes in the bin. I learned how to do this drying trick from one of Jake Kent's videos. He rolled his hairpiece up in a towel and seemed like a logical way to dry it, and it works well. Okay, so let's go through this tedious process I relabeled my Shetty hairpiece so that I don't forget. The word Shetty washed off when I bleached it. My plan is to create something that I can just stick over my hair. Okay, so I'm just going for a makeshift tape around. I will do it properly all around the edges, and I'll go right down the middle and maybe across. I don't know, something. I don't know what I'll do. I don't want to waste too much tape because I know it's unlikely to work, but I just want to see if it can work at all. After that, when it doesn't work, I'll reduce the stubble to give myself an overall either 6 or 9 millimeter haircut, which is basically just uniformly the same length all over. And if that doesn't work, I will have to create a shave zone. So we're gonna try to beat my last record. It was 18 minutes and 40 something seconds. So you just count how long this takes, okay? This is what's left of the last pack. But I got 3 more packs here and another 3 packs here, okay? Plus I got this stuff. Just to give myself a fighting chance, I'll make sure this pack's open. Given that the front hairline is the most important, I'll leave that till last. I don't exactly know where the front hairline ends because it's going to be coming in somewhere around there. Okay, you ready? See, go. Okay, I'm gonna wait for my head to sort of dry. I did just have a shower a couple of hours ago. Hope I got more of this stuff. I'll need more of that. I'll be back. Now listen, I've been growing to accept this baldness. I don't like this being so dark compared to this being so light. If I dyed it blonde, I guess I could try to disguise it. Then I'd be trying to look like Bruce Willis from Fifth Element. It was clearly receding. Now, I'm just going to slam this thing on this hair. I ordered another litre of this stuff, which should arrive within 24 hours based on Amazon. I've got a little bit more, but they're both very empty. So one of these is about 30 Australian dollars, but a litre without the spray nozzle is also $30. So I can refill 4 of these. Not 4 of these, that would be 8. 4 of these, which would be 4. It's 1 litre, okay? So without any further ado, I'm just take this thing off here and put it there. One good thing about this is I don't have to make it land in the right spot at the back anywhere. It just lands wherever it wants to, but it's not ideal, is it? And I am probably wasting this tape. Okay, done. Like seriously, what else is there to do? I just gotta press it down and brush it in, right? As long as the front is in position, the rest, as long as it's not wonky towards the back. It's gonna rustle like a motherfucker too. Also, you'll be able to see darkness through the scalp. I just hope it's thicketed enough that it will be all hidden and disguised. Is it too high on the sides? We'll find out soon. That feels lengthily, no. Rectangulariness, no. Altitudinal. Okay, ready? I'm just gonna brush it. So it's like a plastic bag. Now this is the new hairpiece. I hope it does not shed. Also, I'm not sure that the front hairline is in the exact right position yet either. I think it is. I think it's in the perfect position. I think. Not sure about this design. That plastic is probably not going to stick properly, and I don't know what's going to happen here. Pretty messy back here. Just remember, this is a trial stencil size. I kind of guessed it was 6 inches wide and just went with it without carving out a shave zone. Well, to tell you something, first impressions, I wouldn't go narrower than 6. That's a very high Perry Mason. What does Perry Mason even look like? It's in my mind, Perry Mason has grey along the sides there, and that much, right? And so I just feel like those side bits are called Perry Masons. I have no other word for it. Sides, yeah. Okay. So when I initially stick this on my head without any kind of haircut or styling of any kind, it doesn't immediately just look good. It looks like it's waiting to be made into something. In my imagination, it was going to be a mohawk. It's just so punk that, you know, or some kind of, like if you wanted to go tribal punk, you could do braids all the way through, but then you'd see straight through into the scalp, which is going to look like shit because it's sitting on hair. Let's look at the how well the bleached knots work compared to how they were before they were bleached. Also, just remember there's going to be a tape lip. It's a new term I just coined as well. Just then, it came out of my mouth before I could think it. That's how quickly these words appear in my mind. Someone is writing my story. I'm just a puppet. Okay, let's just. I've got serious whiplash from neck strains lately. Probably should move more. Lubricate. Oil. Life is sad, believe me, messy. I don't know that Tin Man song. Anyway, I'm going to spin you around so you can get a look at the bleach job. Another coin I just praised. I know. Why is it facing the wrong way? All right, I've got to flip you. Do you reckon it looks better bleached or makes no difference whatsoever? Forget the bleaching. Get rid of those blackheads, goddammit. They're pretty severely black, aren't they? It looks like I got black specks on my forehead. That really needs to be squeezed out, doesn't it? What am I going to do about these greys? If I keep them this short, because, you know, the idea is potentially have a crew cut or just a shorn cut. Then dyeing is negligible. You wouldn't even bother because that would grow back. I mean, you'd have to shave that quite regularly. Just definitely get rid of that ear hair as well. So I'm going to shave my ear hair out now. And it's gonna lift for sure. Like that will never stick down. Like it's holding, but I guess the hairs bend up and so the tape bends up with it. Now, given that I'm never gonna go narrower than 6 inches, because I think you'll agree that, yeah, if I grew that up to meet this and cut this to a certain length and try to make a hairstyle out of it, I could, you know, go ahead and shave out that shave zone so it sticks perfectly without any lip. In terms of the 10-inch length, is it my tattoo? I feel like I could have maybe stretched that lower. Didn't it end there before? So I feel like that's the base of my tattoo just there, I think. And I'm pretty sure the other hairpiece ended about there under the tattoo. So this could probably be stretched down. I'm not going to do it now because the tape's dried now. Yeah, I reckon now I'm ready to go to the gym. Like, not glasses though. It's a bit nerdy. Need more of a tat on my face or something. Some sort of 80s Karate Kid bully. Come on, Daniel! I kind of feel like some of the young kids these days have hairstyles similar to this. So it's almost like I'm just trying to fit in. I'm about 50 and they're about 18. So it's not like I'll be included into their cool club. But if I was in shape, which is my next series, and now that this is done, okay, look, you know what? I feel like I'm going to conclude now.
this is and has been my first topper, okay? And even though it's not exactly finished, I'm going to still say these 6 have been my first. Any ongoing adventures of this one deciding it wants to shed will have to wait for extra videos in the future, because I feel like I've really well and truly covered a lot of everything that needs to be done. So I'm kind of in the zone now. I haven't set a specific shave zone. I don't know exactly what my hairpiece size is going to be permanently, but 6 is enough. I mean, that's it. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put this video up maybe in the next few days. And then like a week after it's released, I will make another video reading through all your comments. During that time I might start filming my new series. But I'll try not to release that until Q&A has finished. So basically, I'm going to read through all your comments from episode 1 of this, so the first one of this series, all the way through to this one, which may be, I don't know, video 23 or something. Anyway, please write your comments in any of the videos and I will read them and respond for the ones in this series about my first topper, okay? I'll read your comments, don't have to be questions, I'll read them all and I'll just respond. And I'll try to be nice. I was contacted by a really nice guy called Jack from the UK. Very, very nice. He said I should probably try to keep the hair that I've got left using drugs, finasteride or something, right? And then potentially I could, go and get a transplant for the front section if I am able to keep all this top area and the crown using finasteride, if it even works, and doesn't give me a limp dick or something, give me prostate cancer, I don't know. Transplants at this point in history for me, they look like pubes coming out of your head. Like the back, you see how wily and wiry the back hairs on my neck are. When I've seen demonstrations of what happens with a transplant, they basically cut out a rectangle of meat from the back of your neck and then stitch it back together. So you're always walking around like this unless you lean forward and go, oh, a penny, right? You lean forward, it goes. Meanwhile, they've harvested all of the hairs from that chunk of meat, which they just discard, right? Or maybe they use it as like, what is it called when you, like for grafts for little babies' penises when their parents have gone, you know what, I don't want them to be circumcised after all. And they just take all the transplant victims' neck meat and they use it to put babies' foreskins back on. So that's what happens with your neck meat, apparently. Oh, that's the rumour I've heard, anyway. So, with those back of the neck pubes, they shove them in here, I don't know, 1 every 5 meters or so along the front, and you look like, what's that creature called from Goonies? Sloth? Yeah, you look like Sloth. Instead of some cool fucking Karate Kid baddie. So, you choose. I'm not sure what I'll do. In the future, maybe when it doesn't look like pubes coming out of your head, maybe then, and it doesn't cost $20,000 or something crazy, maybe then, or maybe if I get $20,000, or maybe there's a secret rich person's hair club where they get good stuff. But look at the plastic surgery on Michael Jackson. You tell me he didn't have any money? Elon Musk, he's had transplant plugs, I'm sure. I saw some of his earlier headshots and nowadays, and it's that whole wispy thing going on. I want some density, And Hairpieces give me options. The other thing is, do I want to spend 20 years religiously remembering to take my finasteride
every day of my life. Costing, I don't know, you got to get a box and it runs out all the time and you don't see any results ever. You wouldn't know if it was naturally declining or unnatural or whatever it was, finasteride to thank or whatever else, right? I wouldn't even know. So I'm just taking them, just trusting. I don't know. But it's almost like in the future there will be technologies, just use a laser, go change your DNA using CRISPR or something, and you'll have a full head of hair again anyway. So, but why do I spend all those years taking these fucking pills for so much money? They didn't discount my future laser hair retransplant or, I don't know, follicle remanipulation, DNA surgery. They didn't reduce that price because I'd been taking finasteride for the last 20 years, or Propecia or something, or putting that fucking shit, mousse, whatever it's called, Regain or Rogaine, through my hair to try and keep it stimulated. That's why I feel like, you know, it's like if we send a starship of some sort, a spaceship from Earth now to Alpha Centauri to say, okay, put everyone in hibernation for like 400 years or however long it takes to get there using our technology. So they'll get there in, say, 24, right? And then in 2200, battery ran out, in 2200 we send one, it only takes like 100 years. The second ship's going to get there first. So what was the point of the first one? Plus they were all uncomfortable and all in terrible conditions, whereas the one in 2200 is like state of the art and beautiful. That's why I don't really want to be one of the first people on Mars, right? It's a nice idea. And probably I'll be coming towards the end of my life by the time we start really having colonies move there. I'm 47 now, so if I want to be on one of those first crews, one of those first colonies, I'll probably be 70. I won't be one of the lucky breeders who gets to have Martian sex. So what's the point? What I'll do is I'll wait until I'm 80 and then they'll have figured it out for tourists and they'll just go, lovely party, right? With my champagne, looking out the window at different types of vacuum on the way. Oh look, Earth's getting smaller. Right, before it was this big, now it's this big. Got any more of that champagne? Thank you so much. Is there anything to do here? How long did you say this was going to take? Yeah, I'll go to Mars. Just make it comfortable. I don't want to go there and it's all like Cooperpedia or something. Like, it's going to be fucking freezing for a start. You're going to be inside. It'll be like Dubai, right? Dubai, they'll probably have like a shopping mall with like ice skating and aquarium stuff in the middle of the fucking desert. But it'll be fucking freezing. I think it's negative. It's fucking cold, very cold. Like Antarctica is beautiful. It's you would wish you were in Antarctica. For a start, if you can breathe, okay, and it's fucking hot. It's so hot you'd be sweating in Antarctica if you just come from Mars. That'd be the fucking hot sauna. Anyway, enough about me going to Mars. We'll deal with that later. For now, I'm wrapping this up. Thank you for watching. This has been the biggest fucking video project I've probably ever made in my whole life. Hope you've appreciated it, learned something, and hopefully I've learned something. Most importantly, something that most of you haven't had this whole time is the ability to see the back of your own head. So just build one of these things, okay? The links to everything are in the description below. Now, I know you might not want to drill into your ceiling, put some toggle bolts in there, but coming from the ceiling is really the only way to come over your own bathroom sink. I'm sorry I couldn't get it in white, and I'm sorry it doesn't detach directly from the ceiling. This is the first thing, the periscope beam, and then the ball connector, and then the boom arm that's with a plate for a tripod head, and then the Niwa smartphone rig, and that's it. and then 4 toggle bolts. And you'll also need a drill and probably a little step ladder to get up there. But that's basically it. Oh, and I also think this might have actually come with this. So you only need one of these ball head connectors. Ideally, what I would do differently next time, this connector here, this metal bit here, comes out as 5/8 on one end and 1/4 inch on the other. This natively, these tripod heads accept 3/8, but they have 3/8 to 1/4 inch converters. Now, because 1/4 inch is so flimsy and skinny, it's not as robust as I would have liked it to be. In fact, it snapped on the previous one, and there's now a replacement connector in there. So what you would do instead is try to buy one of these studs that actually natively goes down to 3/8 straight out of this thing with a D connector. But deal with that later, because this will give you everything that I've got if you just buy the things that I said, because I don't have what I just recommended, and I'll only buy one of those things if it breaks too many times. Otherwise I'll just keep replacing the little connector. Okay? And I don't even know if what I just mentioned, a 3/8 stud exists. Okay? Because I'm pretty sure this is 1/4 inch on one end and 5/8 on the other. Because it's made for lighting. Alright, I'll speak to you later. Thanks for watching. I'm going to walk around like this for a while. My family have long accepted the fact that I could kill myself any day, which is true. I want to do it right now. I want to do it right now. The one thing that's kept me going has been my mum. She's a liar and a manipulator, and has cathartically allowed herself to express her tears about her own childhood through me, when I cry about what's happened to me, abandonment. Now that's just an easy word to say, like a million is an easy word to say, but it fucking takes a long time to count up to it. My mum has started not only showing signs of being like this to me, but also with her husband. I think she couples us together. I think she also hates her daughter as well, who she lives with. She hates everybody. With my stepfather, she says, "Get your hands off me, don't touch me," in public, to try to publicly shame him. It's almost like crying out rape. He's trying to rape me when he annoys her. They don't get along. He is annoying. But still, that's going too far. And with me, when I say, "Mum, I need to talk to you. I'm really feeling low. I feel so suicidal right now." And then she'll say, "Oh, well, I need to go to the toilet." And then she'll finish on the toilet, and then, "I'm going to go to sleep now." Like, "Mum, please listen." Oh, look, the nurse is coming and I've got to go. Right, well, are you going to call me back? There's never a return call. During that time, I just decline. And it makes me angry that she doesn't get back to me. And when I start raising my voice at her, she'll go, boom, loudspeaker, so everybody in the ward can hear me shouting at her. This is what my son's become, or something. I don't know what she's doing. And now what she's doing is, if I'm having a fight, she's staying with my sister at my sister's house now. Even though I live closer, it's just, we don't get along. She's just become so evil. Evil. Actually evil. Such a betrayal. Now, when I'm speaking to her at my sister's place, "Look, I've found this beautiful thing. It relates to us and how sad I feel and all the other things, and here's a good analogy." And then she'll say, "Oh, I'm busy doing something." She's not busy. She's fucking dying. She's got nothing to do, okay? She's not even dying. It's well under control. The only scare was really on day one when she had to be taken to emergency, and that was a scary day. It's been scary ever since as well, but the main thing is if she gets something like influenza while she's on chemo, which lowers her immune system and everything else. It's all bad, but she was like this, the way I'm describing, leading up to before she had any diagnosis of any kind, and she was fully retired, had all the time in the world that she could have given to me. If you had a child and it was screaming out in pain, please, please, I want to kill myself, please show me that you care, show me that the others care, get them to come and talk to me or something, and would you as a parent do nothing? Or would you just try to pay money for other people to listen for 1 hour every couple of weeks or whatever? So the child was just out of your face. And then when the child said, Mummy, 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 why don't you love me, right? I do love you, darling. And just lie to the child constantly for its whole life, so it lives in hope. Constantly in hope. Based on your absolute lies. Now, I speak to my mum on the phone. If she ever answers, she ignores all my messages now. If she does, if she does respond, it'll be a one-word answer for something that's from the heart and everything else. Occasionally she'll put in a bit of effort, but she's decided that she fucking hates everybody. She's gone fucking evil. I can't believe it. I'm so destroyed from the first 40 years of suffering that it's hard to take that in. But it was the only thing keeping me going. I spoke to somebody recently, a really nice person, who said they've been able to tolerate their abandonment by just removing those people as being important from their mind. Oh, that's easier said than done, but they seem to have managed to achieve it. They say they have. I don't know if they really have. But how could I do that with my own mother? I'm supposed to pick her up from my sister's place. Anyway, by the way, what I was about to say, I keep getting distracted with other thoughts. My mum holds up one of the babies in front of my face, and she's done this since they were born. If I'm having a fight, she'll say, hold this. There's something that we could solve. She doesn't want to solve it. She fucking hates me, right? But she says, I love you. You know what? You know, now, when we're in the middle of the fight, she'll say, I love you, to shut me up. When she says, I love you now, it means shut the fuck up. I fucking hate you. I love you. After years of showing love and affection and empathy in my childhood years, I don't know when her hatred for me started and everybody else started. She would deny all of this, but if you're in the middle of a fucking fight where you're screaming and you're doing it out of earshot, right? Of everyone else, so that they're not disturbed, but no children are involved, for God's sake, right? She'll go and get a baby or child now, a bit older than a baby, and say, look, so-and-so loves you, or something, right? Like, you think about the pain and rage that I might be in, and then imagine shoving a baby in my face right then and there. She's fucking nuts. And it's so soul-destroying for me. I told her tonight I was extremely suicidal. And she handed the phone to a 9-year-old, my niece, who wrote, I love you, love hearts, right? And I just had to speak, baby, like, you know, gorgeous little I love you too, I'm going to eat your brains, whatever, right? And then my mother never called me back later on afterwards, ever. That was it. There was nothing. She is gone. She's dying. Well, she's not really dying. She got leukemia, She's on chemo, right? But there's been, I mean, she's feeling faint at the moment because of influenza and the medication, which is risky. She could be at risk of dying, but it doesn't seem like it. It's been 7 months, and while there is a problem with her body, creating too many blasts or, immature white blood cells that clog up her marrow where blood is created, and there's no room for the good blood to be made, and they have to destroy fast-growing cells in her bone marrow using chemotherapy, poison basically, that kills any fast-growing cell in your body, including hair, etc. The isolation, the waiting. I should have killed myself decades ago. I was hanging from the top of a very high tree that would have caused, well, definitely quadriplegia, but maybe death. I was hoping for death when I was 13. There'd been a lot of suicide threats up until that age. That was the day that my dad said, I'm getting married to the woman you hate and who's been mistreating you and whispering things and making me change my mind to fucking turn against you after my sister fucking destroyed me. Anyway. But it didn't. My father's a write-off. Like, it's returning back to him. It'd be like somebody who dumped a dog in the forest when it was, after it grew out of being a puppy because it was cute on Christmas Day, and then they went and said, all right, we're going to take you for a drive. You want to do that? Of course I do. Let's go in the car. Okay, Daddy, we'll be back. The kids who just, don't care about the dog anymore, right? Anyway, the dog disappeared, just ran away. That's what they'll say. What they'll do is they'll go and drive this dog out to the forest, to the woods, right? And the dog will sniff around and be all excited. Yeah, I'm here. And then the engine will start. And the owner of the dog will shed an imaginary tear so he won't feel as guilty about what he's doing. Then drive the car away, and the dog will hear the car start and start running after the car, right? And just running after, don't leave me, what? This isn't real, something's happened, something's wrong, right? And it will take, maybe 2 or 3 days of, looking all over the place, trying to find, starving, getting thirsty, trying to find little puddles, and the fear will turn into sadness, if it can survive. And then, of course, anger. If the dog realizes this is really what's happened. Now, the dog could maybe find its way home. And imagine if everybody just acted normal, like nothing had happened. No apology, no big hugs back, hello. Or if they just pretended or something. That dog's going to be growling and mistrustful for the rest of its life. And the family will love it even less. So what's the point of the dog returning? I mean, the dog should return with an AK-47 and just slow motion, just fucking clips, right? But not, I guess the kids who didn't really give a fuck, they didn't choose to buy the dog. They just get given stuff all the time. I don't know. The kids are innocent. But the grown-ups who decided, let's dump the dog. Being dumped hurts. I love my mum. She's the only, like I've told you before, she's more important to me than air. Now that she's gone, I don't really want air anymore, you know what I mean? I could wait for her to pretend to apologise to me like she has grown accustomed to doing. You might say the chemotherapy's fucked with her brain, you should give her leniency. I don't know. She was like this before. She's been like this for many decades, and I just didn't want to acknowledge it, and I still don't. I'd rather lie to myself, like praying to the air, to the stars, that it's watching and it knows and it thinks about me and it interacts with this world and coincidences are for a reason. I'd rather pretend my mum loves me, because without her loving me, this whole staying alive thing, enduring this excruciating daily agony, has been for nothing. I've left before I could plan to leave. I could plan to run away, thinking that will give her the impetus to reach out and go to the effort required to prove that I'm not alone. But I've done it before and it didn't work. Sure, they turned up when I was arrested and put in handcuffs for trying to jump off the edge of a cliff. I didn't try to jump. I just stood there and I was going to jump, but I was deciding, you know. There's no percentage. It's black or white. You jump or you don't jump, and I didn't jump. So you could say, oh, well, he didn't even jump. He wasn't going to do it. I pretty much was going to do it. The pain is so horrendous. And it's not just that. You might think it cowardly, but I feel like revenge is important. That's why I'm a strong believer now in fucking violence. Because if you're the sort of person who thinks that manipulation, causing somebody emotional suffering, like if you're the sort of person who types things to make somebody angrier and angrier and angrier, you know that they're in immense pain that you're causing them with your typing. I hope they come and fucking bring a chainsaw into your house and slice your fucking head off, if you're that sort of cunt. Okay? Because that's fair. I think that's fair. If you're an anonymous fucking typist, just destroying people. Yeah. The world would be a better place without people like that in it. So, well done to the heroes who've murdered such fucking cunts. Now with my mum, she's given me many years of potentially half-hearted love, where she's promised me it's all real love. The years with her husband, who is not a listener at all, have taken their toll and fucked her brain. It's potentially mush, but it's not really mush because she can form sentences and think for herself. She just makes decisions that are selfish now. I know that she should feel sorry for herself having cancer and so on, but this predates that. And if your son is suicidal, do you just yawn and say, I've heard it all before? You could. Might just get sick of it. The intensity of pain could have always been alleviated quickly and easily. My sister and my father are always posting things on Facebook and social media about how happy and beautiful their lives are and all the great adventures and holidays they're going on and everything else. Heaps of friends, so successful, such great reputations. They are the two most evil people I've ever known. I couldn't even imagine ever making up or trusting. There's no trust. It's impossible to trust. They've watched me suffer. And if I ever raised my voice about it, and in the case of my sister, ever even said, excuse me, is now a good time? She'd scream her head off at me for trying to speak aggressively again about it. Even if I didn't matter how many eggshells I walked on with her, she destroyed my life and walked away. And she doesn't want to talk about it because she can't be bothered. Her schedule is too busy with all her friends and everything she does, and her jobs and her successful family and everything else she's got now. After she fucking destroyed me, my mum was there to go there. But I didn't realise that potentially it was just vaguing off into the distance while she went through the duty of having to be a mother that she didn't want to be. It always freaked me out that she was the one who abandoned my father. Given she was so anti-abandonment with me, she didn't ever do anything to hurt me. But she's changed. And now other family members have stopped talking to her completely because of the way she's become. Maybe I should do the same, because she only causes me pain. Only. That's all she does. I keep hoping that there'll be something else, but her manipulation and tricks. Imagine holding a baby up in front of somebody who's fucking shouting in the middle of a fucking, I'm suicidal, I want to fucking kill myself, you fucking cunt, or whatever else, right? Yeah, you shouldn't call your mother a cunt. I know, it's like, you know, that's the sort of thing that Bibles say you should die for. What if your mother is a cunt, though? Seriously, Bible, get your shit together. So now I'm just the Walking Dead, worried about hair. Now, I always assume everybody's in a similar situation with abandonment issues, but most of you are not. Some of you would be. I know some of you are. False hope is worse than no hope at all. Even so, I want to pretend that my mum loves me. And even if she does feel oxytocin occasionally for me, I don't care about the word love. I know it's a lie and a word used to manipulate, and I would never use it to tell someone to shut up. I love you. It's such a disgrace. It's almost as bad as people who say mate when they hate someone. But that should be death penalty. If you're using the word mate to put someone in their place, yeah, that should be death penalty. Listen, mate. Mate? Oh, okay. You wouldn't be fucking lying about that, would you? So the Bible thinks that disrespecting your parents should be death penalty. I think that disrespecting your children can't get death penalty, because when the child needs you. But when the child stops needing you, definitely death penalty. By the way, me talking about wanting people to die for certain things is the same topic as people discussing death penalty for certain things. What's the difference? Whether or not you get fucking men in uniforms to fucking pull a lever to kill someone, or whether or not members of the public who have been wronged go out and do it themselves. Now, we don't really want everyone who feels like they've been a little bit wrong to go out and fucking start mass murdering everyone. The world's just got too many people. It's out of control. And also the decision for people to just live in a box with a person they don't love, a person they don't get along with, and just stay with them and never leave. I'm kind of glad I'm not married now. But if we had a fight, I'm not going to stay with them. Otherwise it's like a divorce or nothing. It's like there's no other choice, you know? You can't go and leave your spouse for 6 years or something. I'm just going to go around the world for a few times, you know, see what happens. Because they're going to get horny and they'll fuck your best friend. And then you'll have to kill all both of them, right? Or you'll do it and you'll have to get killed. Fair enough, right? Because you're hurting someone to such an extreme level when you fuck someone else. That's weird, but that's the way. Jealousy works. We just can't help it. I don't know why we've evolved to be so jealous, but it's something I don't have to deal with anymore. Thank God. It's one of the worst ones, isn't it? Jealousy. Even if somebody if your girlfriend or whatever, boyfriend, flirts with someone else. That's betrayal enough. And what I'm supposed to do is walk around just, yes, hello, yes, nice to see you, sir, right? Being just deadpan unflirtatious. I guess they are. And once they sign that marriage certificate, flirtation has gone. Yeah. Yeah. I would know that if I was flirting with another girl while I've got a girlfriend, I'm doing the wrong thing. That's for sure. Even if she wasn't there to see it, it's still wrong. My mum, what the fuck happened to her? I just whinged too much. You gotta know though, the whinging would have stopped once the pain had stopped. But she did nothing to stop it. And you might say, well, just help yourself. But when you're weak, you can't. Somebody else has to reach in and pull you out of the well. You're stuck. You can't climb out. There's no ladder there for you. You're fucked. There are blips of motivation that I sometimes get based on chemicals in my body, I suppose, that make me feel more inclined to go to the gym and do something, maybe. I'll fucking go into that fucking bathroom of pain and do more hair shit to sort this stuff out, but most of the time I'm just a melted fucking jelly blob. I can't be bothered moving. I try to watch screens, just keep the fucking input going in my ears and my eyes, and keep the food coming in my mouth and the nicotine and the caffeine and everything else coming. Because the moment I stop and I'm alone with my thoughts, I'm fucked. It's just the only thing to do is suicide. Get rid of the pain. So that's why I have to have content, and it can't be too shit. I just always want to find some good movie, some good TV series. The best things for me are adult cartoons like Family Guy and stuff. But I've seen them all a million times. I just watched Night Sky or something like that with Sissy Spacek and that other cool actor. Such good acting, such great script team. But like so many TV series, the writing is just like slow. Season 7, season 8, boom. Just all the main content. That's the build up, right? Okay, so, well, that's the pace I'm going to expect. And then when it gets to all the most important events that we've been waiting for, they go smash, fast edit, boom, that's the end. Oh no, they'll do a little slow ponder at the end as if it had always been that pace. No. What they've done is they're fucking slowly built up, and we're like, okay, you should have told us about what's going on, but okay, yeah, all right, we'll wait a bit longer for the fucking mystery to unfold. Oh, that's what's happening. All the characters in one place, boom, everybody fucking dies or moves on or succeeds or ascends or some shit, and then fucking here's the slow, let's all reflect on how slow and interesting this has all been. It hasn't. You fucking jammed in all the main content right in those last, I don't know, way too fast. It's badly paced in the end. I think it's called Night Sky, Fallen Sky, something Sky. Anyway, it was mostly good. Good acting, good scripts. You see, so somebody would be in the middle of doing something prior to somebody entering a scene. They always did this during the show. I noticed it. You wouldn't just cut to the content that we need to know as an audience. They'd be talking about something irrelevant to the scene. And then they'd be interrupted and have a reason to talk about what's needed for us to continue the story. It's so much better. It seriously is. You don't just cut in and everyone's just doing exposition. This is what else you need to know. No. You want it real so you can really be involved. Anyway, immersed. I'm fucking editing all this shit right now. Right? That fucking ugly piece of shit. You don't deserve to live, dickhead. You do not deserve to fucking live. Because I've been rude. Throughout my pain, I've been rude. That's right. Rudely demanding from my family that they care about my suffering and come with me and help me overcome it. Life has been a fucking nightmare. I've hated it. I've hated life. Why don't you just kill yourself? Good idea. Because I know tomorrow's going to be just as painful, if not more painful. When the last person leaves, why hang around? I guess I could go and hang out with animals. Just filled with sadness. I'd outlive them. Even at my old age, they'd be born, have a full life. I'd interact with them, and then they would die of old age, and I'd still have longevity. We live too long. It's a great opportunity for those who are cunty enough to have a great life, because they've trodden on people all the way through to make sure that they're happy. At least that's how I imagine how it goes. How can a nice person have a good life? How can a self-sacrificing person have a good life? Because they're surrounded by people who go to effort. That could work. If everyone involved went to effort, if they deemed this person is so upset that they're going to commit suicide, or they keep talking about wanting to commit suicide, let's stop what we're fucking doing, tools down, and all just go and give this person the attention and love and reassurance they need until this problem is fixed. But that's not what I've experienced. But people have tried to convince me I've received that level of care occasionally. I don't know why they are lying to the person who's the witness to all of this. I was there, I've seen. I haven't received that. My dad would occasionally visit when I was on a lockup with his rattling keys and his busy schedule. So I'll try to visit you, right? He's in a fucking big hurry. He's got heaps of things to do, right? But he took time out for you. I'm not even going there emotionally. I'm just saying this like fucking... What I need now, really, is drugs or alcohol. Now, thank fuck, I just got some home shopping done and I got a bottle of rum. So I can assure you, while I work on this dickhead's fucking videos, ungrateful piece of shit, I sit here for fucking hours dealing with your fucking blah 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 monologues. God, why don't you ever shut the fuck up? Just stop talking, right? You talk about wanting to make the world a better place. Let's remove you from it. It's a good idea, isn't it? God, I hate the look of his fucking ugly head. I'm gonna drink alcohol and deal with this dickhead's fucking videos now. I live in a perpetual night. I think I wake up at 6 p.m. It's about 6 a.m. I've made this decision before, but not really. I've come to this disgusting conclusion that maybe I should stop speaking to my family completely, all of them. I don't even know where to run to. There's nowhere to run. I've already run around. This hairstyle suits my hermit nature. I'm not trying to look like him, by the way. I know I do naturally, but I've got to shorten this. But every time I cut it short, I've got to try to do some nerdy Mormon haircut. And I don't know, I feel like maybe I should cut it short, but given what's going on here, I'd love to embrace it. Keep the sides this short. It's not good for acting though. You can't really, you don't fit into most characters like this. You're a very specific character type. Like even if I kept this long like that and put some sort of ponytail half the time, I mean, there's no real decent way to style this. I could trim it, keep it somewhat long. I've got to say though, the flippy flappy flops here on the side that are not sticking down because it's stuck to hair. They are sticking to the hair though, I've got to say. Look, it's sticking quite well to the hair. So like if you brush over, you can stick to your hair. I've proven that. You can stick to your freaking hair. Like if you want to go half buzz cut and half wear hair on top of the buzz cut, you can. You can do like this. You don't need to shave off the shave zone and look like a creep. A creepy, strange danger, weirdo, pedophile. You can just have normal shaved, ugly bald head and then put hair on when you want. But it's not seamless, right? Come around the back here and see what's going on. Okay, so if it would just freaking focus, I'm going to spin you around and pull out this back mirror so it will work. Alright, let's have a look at this. So, just as I hoped, the tape is sticking to the hairs. Look what I'm doing. I just try to keep teaching you about 8-power mirror here. So, right, see, is wrong. So I'm going to flip it, twist it, right, then full screen it. Using the methods I taught you. Okay, yeah, it sticks to hair. Hair pieces do stick to hair. Tape sticks to hair. And it's not messy when you use tape. I kind of dig this the way it is. I've thought about having this kind of hairstyle for a long time actually. It'd look better if I wasn't fat, if I had a separate chin and neck and it wasn't all just one thing. But it's hard to maintain, like to get a hairstyle out of it. And then I guess when it's not matted, I mean it might work well with dreadlocks. Dreadlocks kind of are supposed to look dirty in the gaps and people are already expecting it to be dirty, so I could do some kind of mini dreadlock thing and then it would just dangle everywhere and I could put like fucking jewelry on my dreads. That's... And then accessorize with necklaces and bracelets and shit to go with my fucking Superman body. No fluff today. T-shirt's too washed, I guess. I really lost my family decades ago, and I've just been staying alive in hope that they'd come back. But even if they did, just like the freaking dog, what are you going to do? Just growl at them forever? There's no relationship there. With my mum, I really thought there was. I thought she was everything. I thought she loved me unconditionally to the maximum level a person could love another human being. Up to the moon and stars and back plus infinity. To say what a shame is like I wish I had not lived. I wish I'd never been born. I hate life so much. I think I'll turn to weight gain and stuff, like not weight gain, like fucking weight training. And I've already got the right hair for it. Like I look like I'm a fighter. I'll probably get challenged if I walk around with this hair, you know what I mean? Especially if it's in a plaited ponytail thing. How do you do a ponytail? Just middle bit separate. Pretty awkward. I'm sure if I twisted it, it'll work out. Let me see. It's already starting to mat like a... like my first dreadlock. There's really not much else you can wear with this hair. You gotta be a muscle man, not with fucking hairy arms and elbows and shoulders though. I need definition. You know what? I don't want to cut my hair. I want to keep it like this. What about a trim? Is there too much hanging off? Is there like bits that need to be trimmed around here? Nope, it's perfect. Perfecto. So that concludes it. Thank you for watching. This is how you fucking do a full topper. You can, as I've shown, wear a full 8x10 hair system straight over your head. There's no reason to think that you couldn't wear it and stick it with tape onto your hair if it's short enough. When it's long, it's a problem. When it's short, and this is 9mm and 6mm. Alexa, what's 9mm in inches?
9mm is about 0.354 inches.
0.354 inches. What's that as a fraction? 3/10, maybe? I don't know how you people think. What do you mean, you people? I mean Americans. And anyone who uses fucking inches. You know what, it's occurred to me that if I have scales, they're going to tell me my measurements in kilograms. I'm sure I could change it to stone or ounces or whatever the fuck you people say. Pounds. Hell, it's 35 pounds. A pound is like half a kilogram or something. Anyway, that's going to be easier, I guess. Alexa, what is 1 kilogram in pounds?
1 kilogram is about 2 pounds 3 ounces.
I know what the fuck. Alexa, how many ounces in a pound?
1 pound is 16 ounces.
Alexa, how many ounces in a pound?
1 pound is 16 ounces.
16 all of a sudden. What the fuck is going on with your fucking thing? Alright, 16. It's just all these different Mr. Ounce, Mr. fucking Pound, and all these different people went, I'm just going to make my own thing. Right? And somebody went, alright, let's just collect all these things. These are the only measurements that exist. These are now set in concrete forever. And then Mr. Celsius, Mr. Meter, and Mr. fucking seconds and minutes. I guess minutes are still fucking analog, aren't they? Imperial. Yeah, we need Mr. Centisecond to come along, so we can get some proper, easy to calculate time systems going. You'll notice though, from the time that humanity needed fractions of a second, we didn't do 60ths of a second, did we? We went, okay, thousandths of a second, or hundreds, tenths of a second. You know, it's all the base 10 number system for us. But we're still stuck with the imperial time system. That has to change. I hate it. Like, a second is kind of arbitrary, but it's what all the scientific units of measurement are using, so it's too late. We keep the second, we start with the centi. Centi's a fraction, isn't it? What's 100 of something? Fuck. It starts with an H, doesn't it? I don't remember. Well, we could say kiloseconds, just start at 1,000, fuck off 100, because I don't know what the word is. See, deci, I think, is tenth, and deca is 10 of. I don't remember what 100 of is as a prefix. I'm sure it's Latin, isn't it? Anyway, this is a good hairstyle to get me started on my new regime, okay? So, you know what? I'm gonna keep coming back and recording more shit about doing my hair for this, my first ever top-up series, unless I get that box from Amazon in here and open it and show you what I'll be using for the next series, which is all going to be about weight loss. Like, as if I'm going to go to the gym. Of course I'm going to fucking go. I'm going to fucking go. It's my new life now, motherfuckers. I've got a family. I hope I'm wrong. How can I abandon my mom now that she's fucking got leukemia? I'm going to be using this, and I'm going to be using this, and I'll be careful with this because I think it's made out of glass. It's a smart scale, smart ruler, okay? That's going to measure my weight in kilograms. I'll give it to you in stone and fucking ounces or whatever you want as well. And then this one, which is going to measure my fat and also my bicep size and all that sort of stuff. I'll increase my bicep size, obviously, and decrease my gut size. And decrease my weight. I bet I'm 100 kilograms. I should be probably 80. Or if I was bulky, fucking Incredible Hulk, maybe 90. I'm 6 foot tall, so. Sayonara, bitches. Hope you learned something.